We're going to start in seated, and we're going to work with a few things today. We're going to work with a mudra called Garuda mudra, which mudras is just movements with our hands or circuits or connections that you create, energetic circuits with your hands. And we're going to be working with some balancing poses, some forward folds for releasing, and grounding. Forgot what I was going to be teaching you. Obviously, I need the grounding. So take a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, even if it doesn't look like a yogi seat, and let your eyes close. And I wanted to start with just a quote that I read that I thought is just really simple, but it's really meaningful at this time of year. And it's by Emily Bronte. Every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree. And so this is a really nice little quote to hang on to through our practice today as we begin this dark composting cycle of nature. So this is an opportunity to ponder and to internalize our experiences and make them our own. So as you sit here connecting to your breath, take a moment to ponder the gifts that summer has brought to you, the abundance of the harvest. And I don't mean that just literally, but also figuratively. And once you've had a moment to think about those, think about what you can let fall away like the leaves as we move into autumn. And then take a moment to ponder what is positive to you about this time of year, about autumn and fall. What things come to mind that you really enjoy about this time of year? And then set your intention for your practice. And then you can open your eyes once you have your intention set. And we're going to do the mudra that I talked about. So bring your hands up like this. We're going to bring our thumbs to touch. And then we're going to rotate our hands so that our thumbs are still touching, your palms are towards your heart, and your fingers are out to opposite sides. So this is called, as I said, Garuda mudra. And it's also called eagle gesture or eagle pose. So these are like eagle wings. And so this is a mudra. The thumbs represent our Agni or our fire, our digestive fire, our inner fire. And so bringing them together intensifies the fire. And what this does energetically is it helps to move the lymphatic fluid and heat up the body, the digestion. And the wings represent air. So this is a good mudra for this time of year, the Vata season, to help balance the airs of Vata, the wind. So take a few breaths here. You can close your eyes again and breathe into the belly, pressing into the thumbs and spreading your fingers wide in Garuda mudra. And this also helps us to draw our focus inwards. This is what we're doing at this time of year, is drawing our focus, our attention inward rather than the outward of summer. Taking a few more breaths. Nice deep breaths into the belly. Feeling into your root, your seat, your feet, your legs. And we're going to open our practice with 3 rounds of Om. So take one more inhale, and we'll exhale to Om. 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 focus to your fingers and the vibration on this last one. Just sit for a moment and see what you feel. Vibration in your heart center, your throat. Maybe even feel tingling in your ends of your fingers from that vibration and from the energy of the circuitry of the mudra. Take one more breath. And then you can release. Open your hands and make your way to hands and knees for cat-cow, just to get the body moving. And if you've got your blocks, have them at the top of your mat now, just because, not so they're in your way, but so they're reachable, because I will forget to tell you to grab them when we need them, so just have them there now while you're still low to the ground. Go ahead and start connecting to your ujjayi breath here, drawing the heart forward, opening the front of the spine, opening the throat, and then as you exhale, starting with the belly, draw the navel center in and open up the back of the spine as you press the earth away from you. Let's do 3 more rounds like this. Using the inhale to open the front spine, and using the exhale to open the back of the spine and activate the core muscles in the navel center to draw in. And really using these simple movements to connect with that ujjayi breath, that restriction in the back of the throat that helps you control the inhale and control the exhale and smooth it out. And as you move into your exhale of your last one, uncurl your toes and send the hips back into child's pose. And if you wish, from your child's pose, you can bend your elbows and bring the fingertips to the top of your shoulder blades. Just bringing a little more opening. And if that just doesn't feel right, keep your hands down where you originally had them. And just breathe into the back body here. Bring awareness into your intention as you draw your attention inwards in child's pose. Take one more deep breath. Feel the breath fill the back body here, and then use your exhale to ground down just a little bit more. And use your next inhale to rise up. Bring your hands ahead of your shoulders, curl your toes under, and let's move into downward facing dog. Walk your dog out a little bit, bend your knees deep, draw your belly towards your thighs. And then we're simply just going to walk or step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen through your spine. Exhale to bow down. Belly draws in. Inhale, circle wide, reach up to the sky, and draw it into your heart. Connect your thumbs, move into your Garuda Mudra, just for a couple breaths in mountain pose. Press into those thumbs, feel that connection, that circuitry of energetic movement. Take 3 deep breaths here in your mountain pose. Breathing into the belly, connecting with your ujjayi breath, with each inhale and with each exhale. And as you complete your 3rd exhale, you can release your hands down. And we're just going to do some half sun salutations, getting our body moving slowly and warming up slowly. So let's inhale and reach up as though you could touch the sky. And as you exhale, we bow forward, releasing whatever that is that needs to fall away. And as we inhale halfway, we lift our heart and remember the positives in your life. Exhale, drop towards the earth again. And this time we press into the earth and rise up. Reach up, touch the sky. And we're going to do that exact same thing two more times. Exhale, let it all drop away, whatever you need to release. Inhale, lift the heart towards the positives. Exhale, bow back down towards the earth. And inhale, circle, reach up, touch the sky. Last one. Exhale, bow, release, let it go. Inhale, lift your heart to the positives in your life. And exhale, bow to the earth once again, circle wide. Rise high, touch the sky. And this time bring your hands down through your heart center. So let's continue on adding some lunges in our practice. Inhale, reach up to the sky. And exhale, we fold. Let it all fall away. Inhale, lift the heart, thoughts to the positive. Exhale, we step our right foot to the back of our mat. And here's where you might have blocks if you wish. And if not, fingertips to your mat. So take an inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, reverse lunge. Inhale, draw your heart forward and we drop the back knee. And inhale, reach up to the sky, open up to the possibilities of what may come in this following season. Lift your heart. Feel the groundedness beneath your feet, holding you steady. Take one more breath. And exhale, hands come through your heart center. We're twisting to the left, so twisting towards that front knee. You can keep your hands at heart center here, or you can open them up if you feel ready for that. We're just getting started in class, so you might not be ready for opening yet. Take one more breath here. And then release your hands down. We're going to do reverse lunge in our low lunge. So lifting that front toe, shifting back, possibly folding over that front leg. It might not be completely straight. That's okay. We're getting into the hamstrings here, like we're drawing roots right down from the base all the way down to that heel. And then shift forward again. Lift the back knee. And we're going to shift onto that front foot for standing splits. It's not going to be your biggest standing splits. Again, we're just starting, really getting into the hamstrings here. Press into that left foot. And then step the right foot to the back of your mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. So inhale, come forward to plank pose. Press the earth away from you. Feel that stability, that grounding beneath you. Take another inhale and press back to down dog. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, come forward to plank. Stay here for a breath or 2. And when we move back into our downward dog, on an exhale, we're going to do lion's breath. So take one more inhale in your plank. And as you press back, open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, lion's breath, down dog. Inhale forward to plank. And this time lower down, either all the way down or pausing in chaturanga. And then come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Send the feet straight out behind you. Lengthen through your toes. Exhale, release down. Release your hands alongside your hips, facing your center line. And inhale, rise up. Really reach back through the fingertips. Lengthen through your toes. Your feet can stay grounded now if you wish, or if you want to lengthen so much that they rise up, you can do that as well. Take one more breath. Feel your belly on the earth. Exhale, release down. Take an inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Breathe into your back body. Release any tension in the back. Inhale, up, tabletop. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of the mat. Use your inhale breath to lift your heart forward to the possibilities. Exhale, belly draws in, we bow down. Inhale, bend your knees, press into the earth, circle wide, reach up and touch the sky. And exhale through your heart center. And release down. Let's do our second side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold, hinge at the hips, bow to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. And as you exhale, step left foot to the back of your mat, starting with our knee lifted for the first one. So drawing your heart forward. The exhale, we move into reverse lunge. So lifting the front toes, pressing into that front heel. Next inhale, ride your breath back to the top of your mat. Exhale, drop the back knee, and inhale, reach up to the sky. Again, allowing yourself to open to the possibilities. As we draw inwards for our incubation period, our composting period of what might come. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. We're twisting to the right. Hands at your heart center. Use that elbow for a little bit of traction. Each exhale, the belly draws in and twists to the right or up to the sky. Take one more breath here. And then we can exhale, unwind. Hands come down, reverse lunge with your knee down. So same thing that we did before, just a little lower to the earth. Press into that front heel. And then walk it back up. Lift your back knee. Remember, we're stepping forward into standing splits. So come onto that right foot. Again, this probably isn't going to be your most open standing splits because we're just getting going, but that's okay. It's sensation, not the shape of the body we're looking for. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, step to the back of your mat. Downward facing dog. Feel into the groundedness of your feet. The groundedness of your hands. Inhale forward to plank. While we're in our plank, staying really lifted through your shoulders, bring your feet a little bit wider. We're going to turn both toes towards the right side, but keep our hands grounded. So we come into the side body abdominals a little bit more here. And then come back to center. Feet wide again if they've shifted, and shift to the other side. Come back to center. Down dog. Come down to child's pose. Give your wrists a break. And we're just going to add on a little bit to what you just did. Taking a moment to breathe into the back body. Bring your thoughts back to your intention as your awareness draws inward. All right, next inhale. Come up. Find your plank pose. Bring your feet wide once again. Turn your toes to the right. Now you have option to keep both hands down, pressing in, because I know some of you are not going to move into side plank. Some of you are going to lift that right hand up to the sky. And maybe you even reach that right hand overhead and lift the hips a little bit higher. Bring the hand back to being perpendicular. Bring it down, feet at center. Drop your knees, child's pose. You want to build some heat, but we don't want to burn you out. So take a couple breaths, let your wrist have a break here. You guys have your own fire. We don't need the fireplaces, right? Let's inhale up, find plank. Let's do the other side. So feet wide, turn your feet to the left. You can keep both hands down like we did the first round, or lift left hand up to the sky. And then possibility to reach overhead and lift the hips a little bit higher. Bring the hand back to being perpendicular. Release it down. And let's all lower down to your mat. Inhale, rise up in your cobra. Stay in your cobra, release your hands behind you, intertwine your fingers. Send the knuckles towards your knees, open and lift. Maybe your feet rise up. 3 breaths here. Smooth Ujjayi inhale. Smooth Ujjayi exhale. Feel your belly pressing into the earth. Feel that grounding sensation, that grounding energy. 1 last breath. And use your exhale to release down. Let's breathe into the belly a couple of breaths before we move off our bellies. You can either turn your head to the right or to the left, or stack your hands under your forehead. Breathe into the belly. And turn your head the other way if you've got your head turned. Breathe into the belly a few more times here. And then hands under your shoulders. Press up and back, either child's pose or down dog. We're going to take 3 breaths, 3 resting breaths. Staying connected to that Ujjayi even in your resting pose. And then let's all meet in down dog for 1 breath together. And then use the bottom of your exhale to step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhaling to lift the heart as we open. Exhale, we bow down, we release. Inhale, circle wide, reach to the sky as though you could touch it. And draw into your heart center. And release. So we're going to just step wide on your mat. So turn whichever way you want to turn, to the long side of your mat. We're moving into fiery angel. So you can turn your toes out 45 degrees. And I said that so that, because some of you will be able to see better one direction and some of you in the other direction. So you get to choose. And then bend your knees, reach up to the sky, coming into fiery angel. So we're going to open our arms wide as we inhale. So reach out to the sides. Take a nice big inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to draw energy into our heart center. Stay here to inhale. And exhale, open your palms up to the sky right out in front of you. So let's keep moving. Open your arms as you inhale. Gather wide. Exhale, draw into your heart center. Stay with hands at heart center as you inhale. And then open, offer it up out in front of you with straight arms, palms up as you exhale. Inhale, arms wide. Gather to your heart as you exhale. Stay here to inhale. And offer it up out in front of you, palms up. This time bring your arms wide. We're going to reach up to the sky and come into our Garuda mudra. So bring your thumbs together, circle them around, bring your thumbs towards your heart. Press into your thumbs. Nice breath here. Really connect with that ujjayi breath. Connect with the grounding through your feet and the strength of your legs. One more breath. And then release. Straighten your legs. Come up. Turn your feet so that they come parallel. Either hands to your hips or intertwine your fingers behind your back. Lift your heart as you inhale. Lift your gaze. And as you exhale with a long spine, fold forward. Let the top of your head spill towards the earth so you're not holding tension in your neck. And have a little tiny micro bend in your knees, even if you have open hamstrings, so that you're not hyperextending the back of your knees. Nice breath here. These forward folds help us for a release and for drawing inwards. So you might, even if you're feeling steady and grounded, you might even close your eyes here. If that makes you feel unbalanced, then of course open your eyes. I don't want you falling down. And take one more full round of inhale and exhale here. And then your next inhale, let's come halfway so that your torso is perpendicular to the floor. Exhale here, and then inhale, come up all the rest of the way till you're upright. Beautiful. Turn your left toes to the top of your mat. Let your arms come wide. And bend your front knee for warrior two. So warrior is a perfect pose to find that strength and stability, that focus of your warrior gaze for whatever is to come in this new season. Looking over your front fingers, pressing into both feet, even the back foot and the outside edge of the back foot. And then we're going to bring our right arm forward under our left into eagle arms. Oops. And then see with your eagle arms, are you able to look over that front shoulder still? So this is quite opening for the neck and the back of the shoulder blades. One more breath here. And then inhale, arms wide. Reach your left arm straight up, bend the elbow so that you can touch the top of your shoulder blades. Bring your back arm to the elbow to open through that right side a little bit. So this is kind of like cow face arms-ish. And maybe you can even look up a little bit. That's a little bit like peaceful warrior. And then release your hands into warrior two. Straighten your front leg, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Now you might take child's pose and take a little rest here. You might come forward to plank and take a vinyasa to flush that out before we do second side. And choose your back bend, either cobra or up dog as you move through your vinyasa if that's what you've chosen to do. And then 3 breaths in either down dog or child's pose as your resting pose before we move to our second side. Okay, let's all meet in down dog. Now let's step our right foot to the top of our mat for second side. Pivot the back foot down. And rise up into your warrior two. We're getting into this a little different than we did our first side, but that's okay. So take a moment to find your strong warrior grounding stance. And then find that warrior gaze. And through stillness and focus and strength, you can refocus your priorities for this coming season. And now left arm is going to come forward, right arm over top, wrap around your eagle arms, and then see if you can gaze over that right shoulder without too much strain in your neck or your shoulders. Still pressing down strongly into both feet, including that back foot. One more breath here. And then open the arms wide. Feel that expansiveness again. And then reach right arm up, straight up to the ceiling. Bend at the elbow and bring the left arm around to tip that elbow up a little bit more. Maybe we can look up here. So it's kind of like an exaggerated peaceful warrior. And you can really feel more opening in through that right side body here. One more breath. Still pressing strong into both feet. And then release your arms straight out. Exhale, bring the hands down. Let's step it back. Down dog. Same choice as before. Take child's pose and take a few breaths. Stay in down dog, feel the grounding, or take a vinyasa. Flush it out and meet back in down dog. Three nice ujjayi breaths. As you are in this forward fold, whichever one you've chosen, this is an opportunity to bring your awareness and your focus inwards into your intentions for this new season, this season of transition. If you're in child's pose, meet us in down dog for this last breath. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, step, walk, or float, top of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, circle wide, reach up and touch the sky. And draw into your heart. And release. So we're going to use, most likely going to use your blocks for this next couple of poses. So have your block handy. And then inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. And as we exhale, step the left foot to the back of your mat. Pivot it down as though you're going to do warrior two. Bring your hand to your block, and you might have it on the low setting. You might have it on the high setting. We're going to move into side angle here. So begin to rotate those left ribs up to the sky here. And you might have your left hand on your hip to start. And if this feels like it's too deep for you and you'd have it already on the highest, then bring your forearm to your knee. Keep rotating, and then go ahead and extend that left arm up and overhead, creating that line towards the front, like you're creating a line from that back outer edge of your foot through your fingertips in our side angle. And every exhale, feel the belly button draw in towards the spine and twist up towards the sky. Let your gaze follow up to the sky here. Press strongly into both feet. One more breath in your side angle. And staying in this shape, simply reach your left hand perpendicular up to the sky. we're going to straighten into triangle pose. So begin to move that front leg straight into your triangle pose. And you might need to bring your block back a little to facilitate that. Keep breathing here. And we're still doing that same action of the navel center, drawing in, twisting up, maybe looking up to the sky, or maybe looking to your front foot for a little more grounding. One more breath here. And then look to your front foot. Bend your front knee. Release that left hand down. Release your right hand down. Pivot onto your back foot. And let's step forward into standing splits. We did it before. We might be a little more open this time. Some of you might want to turn this into a balance by bringing your right hand to the back of that calf, or maybe bringing both hands to the back of that calf. Or you might flip your fingers and walk them out behind that foot, so their fingers are pointing behind you. Just changes how the balance is a little bit. Take one more breath here. And slowly lower that foot to the back of your mat. And step back. Downward facing dog. Nice big breath here. And let's just simply walk, step, or float to the top of your mat to do our second side. We're going to skip the vinyasa. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bow. And inhale, circle wide. Reach up to the sky and draw into your heart center. Take a breath or two in your mountain pose before we go for your second side. Where am I going to do this? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, step right foot to the back of your mat. Pivot it down as though you were doing warrior two. You can bring elbow to your front knee or bring your hand to your block on whatever height is most appropriate for you. And then we rotate. You can actually take your right hand and bring it across your belly as though you were wiping your hands on your shirt, and draw your belly up to the sky as you reach that arm up and then overhead. And if you find yourself bending forward, bring your elbow to your front knee. It brings you up a little bit and gives you a little bit more space. So if you feel like you're like this, come on up a little bit. But keep extending from the outer edge of that back right foot up to the fingertips of that right hand. One more breath here, opening up. And then keeping this body shape, just bring that right hand perpendicular to the earth. And slowly begin to straighten that front leg into triangle pose. You might need to bring your block back a little bit. Did we reach our top arm overhead and triangle on the first side? Did we? We did? Okay. Go ahead and reach that top arm over. I meant to, I just couldn't remember if I actually asked you to. And really lengthen through that side body. Take one more breath here. And bring that right arm perpendicular once again. Look to your front foot. Bend your front knee. Bring the right hand down. Bring your left hand down. And we're going to step forward to standing splits. Possibly turning it into a balance if you choose to do so. Or flipping your hands, fingertips pointing behind you and walking your hands back. And as we stand in our standing splits, imagine drawing your roots right from the base of your pelvis all the way down that standing leg into your foot, into the earth, really grounding you in stability. One more breath. And slowly, gracefully bring that back foot to the back of your mat. Hands come down. Downward facing dog. Option for child's pose. Option for a flow, or option to stay in down dog. do what best serves you today. Two more breaths wherever you're at. And then let's all come up to down dog. Let's take one breath here together in unison, inhaling deeply. Bottom of your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, we bow. And inhale, we press into the earth, circle wide, reach high, touch the sky, and draw into your heart. Let's pause here, press your thumbs together, come into your Garuda Mudra. Take 3 breaths here, really pressing into the thumbs and spreading the fingers and breathing into the belly. Bottom of this last exhale, release your hands down. We're going to come into a little bit of balance. So let's bring a little bit of, let's do the bouncy bounce to really get grounded for our balance poses. I'm terrible at balance, but when I do this, it gets a little bit better. So bring your hands to your hips. We're going to lift that right leg and draw it in towards your chest. So usually we do this laying down. Today we're going to do this standing. And then we're going to bend that standing leg just a little bit. Bring your ankle to that leg. And we're going to sit down. So this is like a one-legged chair pose and thread the needle all at the same time. So now if you wish, you can reach your arms up to the sky in chair pose. So this is opening up the hips and creating some release, as well as strengthening and grounding us. Take one more breath. And then let's rise up and release down. Beautiful balance in here today. Must have been those bouncies, right? Okay, let's do our second side. Spread the toes wide on that right foot. Let's draw that left knee in. Get a little bit of opening and standing up Anasana. And then begin to bend that standing leg just a little bit. Bring the ankle to the top of that knee. You can bring hands to your heart center to start here as you sit in your chair pose. And then maybe you want to reach up. And maybe you sink a little lower if you've got opening in your hips. Feel grounded in that right foot, even though you're reaching up to the sky in opposing directions. Good save, Charlene. Let's take one more breath. And then with grace, hands to heart center, softly place that foot down. Beautiful. Have your block handy. We're going to do our last couple of standing poses, and you'll probably want your block. So let's inhale, reach up to the sky. And as we exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Not a big step, maybe a little bit, 3/4 of the way to the back of your mat. And have that foot at a 45-degree angle. So we're moving into pyramid pose here. So you might have, I only have one block, but you might have your hands on both your blocks here because we're looking to straighten that front leg. And it might be up on your high block position. So we just got it into kind of a sneaky way. And so this is opening through the hamstring here. And if you've only got one block like I do, bring your block into the inside of your foot, inside of that right foot. Bring your thumb into the hip crease of that right front hip crease and press that hip back. So I'm kind of in a halfway lift position here. So I'm pressing that hip back, so it's helping to square my hips. And I'm going to start to twist towards my right. So this is revolved triangle we're moving into if you haven't figured it out yet. You might keep that right hand on your right hip, or you might reach it up to the sky. The belly button draws in on the exhale and twists up to the sky, up to your right. So you're twisting right. Right leg's forward and you're twisting to your right. You got it. One more breath here. Look to your foot. Bring that right hand down. You can bend that front knee. Take your block in your right hand. Bring it about a foot ahead of that front foot. We're moving into half moon. So shift it forward. So now that left foot floats up and it's pointing out to the side, to the left side. You might have your left hand on your hip, or you might reach it perpendicular to the sky. So this pose is a beautiful expression of strength and balance to carry you from these longer days into the longer nights with grace and awareness. Some of you might bend that floating leg and reach your hand back into a bind and open the heart. One more breath wherever you're at. And if you're in the bind, release. Bring that left hand down. Bring the left foot down to the back of your mat. Step it back. Take child's pose or flush it out with a vinyasa, your choice. Do what's best serves you today in this moment. We've got one more side to do, and then we're going to wind it down. So let's find down dog. And let's step that left foot forward. Pivot the back foot down. And remember, a little bit shorter stance than we would be doing if we were doing Warrior 2. And have your block handy, or blocks. So we'll start with pyramid with the front leg straight. Hands can be on your blocks. You can be folded over that front leg, or you can be in a halfway lift. Take one more breath in pyramid, just squaring the hips. And then bring your left thumb to the left hip crease and press that hip back, squaring your hips. And then we begin to, on an exhale, draw the belly button in and twist to the left. And you can keep your hand at your hip, or you can begin to reach it up to the sky. Press strong into both feet. Draw your hips in towards your midline. Some of you might look up to the sky. Some of you might look to your front foot for more grounding and balance. And some of you might just look out to the side. Stay connected to your breath, your Ujjayi breath. One more breath here. We're almost there. And then slowly release that left hand down. Bend your front leg. Bring the block to your left hand ahead of your foot for half moon pose. And then we're just going to shift forward. So the right toes are pointing out to the right side. Your top arm might be on your right hip. Might be reaching up to the sky. Some of you might bend that floating leg and reach back with your hand into a bind to open through the heart a little bit more. 2 more breaths here. One more breath. And then release the right hand down. Release that back foot down. Let's step it back. Come down to your knees. Let's all take child's pose. I took the Kleenexes away. I know I need them too. Take one more breath here. I'm going to offer you guys a choice. I was going to lead you into lizard and twisted monkey, but I thought pigeon might also be really nice. So let's have some votes. Who wants lizard? Who wants pigeon? 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 Yeah, I figured it would be pigeon. Lizard is my favorite, but I know everybody else's is usually pigeon. And there used to be pigeons in here, but they're not here. Let's find either tabletop or down dog. You can move into pigeon pose from either one. We're going to start with the right leg. So if you're in down dog, you might want to float that right leg up before you move into pigeon. And if you're in tabletop, just draw that right knee forward. And walk that back foot back. Check in with that back foot. Make sure you don't have broken ankle syndrome, that it's straight back. Start in your upright pigeon, proud pigeon. Lifting your heart. And those of you who want to move into king pigeon before you go into sleeping pigeon, go for it. You know it's not mine. That's this one, where you reach back with both hands. I can do it, but I'm not going to. And then keeping that long spine, you can stay in king pigeon a little longer if you're in it, but keeping that long spine in your proud pigeon, begin to walk into sleeping pigeon. And bring your whole upper body closer to the earth. Do that grounding, drawing your awareness inwards in this forward fold. And this is a great position, a great posture for releasing. And sometimes what we're releasing at this time of year is disappointments of things that we might have been working on through the growth of summer that didn't come to fruition. But this is the perfect time to let it go and refocus on something new. Sometimes what we're releasing is grief. The last year and a half, we've all lost a lot of things. And we don't notice the grief because they're not huge. But a lot of us are holding that COVID grief. So use your breath to release and let that go. And open up to possibilities. Let's have one more breath here. And then slowly begin making your way up. Curling the back toes under. Maybe you're just going back into tabletop, and that's just fine. And if you're going back into down dog, maybe just bring it, that right leg all the way up into a three-legged dog. Stretch it out after being all bent up. Bring the right foot down, and let's move into left side. So three-legged dog if you're in dog. Draw the right knee forward if you're in tabletop. Send that back foot back. This is the second side, right? I didn't make you do the same side twice. I feel like I'm doing the same side twice. So your proud pigeon to start, or king pigeon. If you did king pigeon on the first side, even it out and do it on the second side. And those of you in proud pigeon, whenever you're ready, keep that long spine, open heart as you fold forward into your sleeping pigeon. Feel that vibration of the earth helping you stay grounded in this posture as you release whatever you need to release to the earth. The earth only sees it as energy. It's neither good nor bad, happy nor sad. It's just energy. To release it, to be composted. Nice even breath here. Let's have 2 more breaths. And then you can begin on an inhale to make your way back, either to tabletop or down dog or 3-legged dog. And when you've stretched it out and it's feeling good, we're going to make our way to a seat for Paschimottanasana. Our last forward fold before we move into Shavasana. So legs out in front of you, feet flexed. Take a nice inhale in Dandasana, opening the heart up a little bit. And then we're going to begin to forward fold. And this pose helps us to honor the inner wisdom and the voice of your spirit, calms the nervous system. And don't worry how far you get. And you can also, I always forget to say this, you can put something under your knees if you're really tight in your hamstrings, or even just a micro bend in your knees a little bit. And that is super strengthening, to bend your knees and press your heels down as you forward fold. That's really strengthening in the hamstrings. So as this helps to draw your awareness inwards, your focus inwards, literally turning in toward yourself, it helps to calm the nervous system and begin that inward journey of autumn. Take one more breath and then begin to slowly make your way back upright. And bending your knees once you're completely upright. Let the soles of the feet come together. And our last grounding pose before Shavasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. And don't force your knees open, but just let them be open. Sometimes I really like the feeling of rocking. It might feel good to you, and it might not. And some of you are just going to stay upright here for a few breaths. Some of you are going to fold forward for a few breaths. Neither one is better or worse, so choose whatever is appropriate for you. And if you're hypermobile, Michelle, really press your feet together for strengthening. And then we can draw the knees up, and we're going to lay down on our backs. And we're going to get ready for Shavasana. We're just going to do a little windshield washing with our knees. But if you want to grab your sweaters and socks and blankets or whatever you have before you lie down, go ahead and grab that on your way down. And then you can either, I like to give you choices for your twists. You can either bring your feet really wide on your mat, or you can bring your shins parallel to the floor and hover them like the letter L as we move into our twist. So that would look like this as we move into our twists, or having your feet nice and wide and get a little more opening in the side body. Whichever one you feel like you want to do today, go for it. So if you've got your feet grounded, just windshield washer slowly with your breath back and forth. If you've chosen to have your knees lifted or your shins lifted, take one side and then maybe go back and forth a couple times and then stay. You choose which side you stay on first. Giving you lots of choices today. And if you've stayed in your one side for a little bit, move into your second side. And when you feel even and ready, we're going to move into Shavasana. So we're right at 7:03 right now. Michelle, that'll give you 7 minutes for Shavasana. So gather the props when you're ready. How about fireplace? How are you guys feeling? Everybody's good? Yeah? Boy, I thought for sure you guys would want fire tonight. So let's all take a collective inhale, pause at the top of your breath, and a collective slow exhale. And as you exhale, feel your body sinking into the earth. And let's do one more like that. Nice deep inhale where we pause at the top of the breath. And a slow exhale, feel that sinking support as the earth rises up to meet you and you sink into the earth. So this Shavasana is your symbolic death that gives you a chance to practice the cycle of birth, life, death, and renewal over and over again. And this pose is also deeply restorative to the entire system. So take this time of stillness and quietude for the next few moments. Slowly begin to deepen your breathing as awareness comes back into your body. Breathing movements into fingers and toes. And whenever you feel ready, finding fetal position. And taking a few breaths in your fetal position before making your way up to a seat. And as you find your seat, just taking a moment to recenter, reground in this new position, keeping that feeling of relaxation. Michelle, it's 7:10. Okay. And if you want to close your eyes, if you'd like to bring your hands back into our Garuda Mudra, pressing into the thumbs, holding that mudra over your heart center. And just finding stillness here once again. Rooting down through your roots and rising up to the sky with the upper body through the crown. Take 3 big breaths into the belly. Slowly exhaling out. So fall is a season that revels in change and can often make us feel anxious or fearful. So it is here that we hold on to our vision, that thread that we have been following through our life. Take a moment to ponder, what are you curious about? What would be new? The season invokes muse and mystery, and we can press into our imagination, our dreams, and what this might mean about who you can become. And then bring your hands to press at heart center. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. And we'll inhale to Om. Om. Let's do 2 more, just like the first. Let your eyes slowly flutter open. Namaste, 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 namaste.